And this too is something that dating coaches never talk about, where who's reacting more in the conversation? You may notice that men who are bad with women, when they're attracted to a girl, they become more reactive. They're reacting to what she says. They're laughing really hard at her jokes. And you can clearly tell they are only thinking about getting into her squish mitten. So they're very reactive. They're leaning in. They're laughing at jokes that aren't funny. This is the same shit that girls do. She's going to be leaning in, touching you, asking you personal questions. She's going to have an energy that states, I'm interested in the conversation, but translated, that means she's interested in you.
The Unapologetic Man Podcast.
But this one thing that I'm going to reveal is actually more important than any of those other signs, because this has to do with something that she absolutely cannot control. And that, boys, is energy. When she is attracted to you, she's going to go into her feminine energy. Women become more feminine when they're attracted to a man. At least heterosexual women who is attracted to a masculine man, she's going to go into her feminine energy. How many times have you seen a girl just get really girly around you? Or, and this is really important sign to look for, her voice starts getting higher. When she speaks to you, she does exactly what I tell you guys not to do when you're speaking to a woman, which is to have your voice go up rather than down. For example, how are you today? As opposed to, how are you today? When a woman is attracted, you will hear her voice coming up to meet you. And this is the analogy I always use. There's a hierarchy between the two people speaking. The person who's in the social power is above the person who's not in the social power. Therefore, the person who's not in power, their voice goes up to meet them. The person who's in the social power, the voice goes down to meet them. Just like a police officer asking you for license and registration, please. It's an authoritative tone, which is the tone you have to have when approaching a woman. I always tell you guys the two most important things of approaching a woman are energy and tonality, but also when approaching a woman and trying to see if she's attracted to you, you need to check her tonality, check her energy. Is she being really feminine? Is she being really girly? An attracted woman is an engaged woman, so she's going to be engaged with you in the conversation and reactive to you. And this too is something that dating coaches never talk about, where who's reacting more in the conversation? You may notice that men who are bad with women, when they're attracted to a girl, they become more reactive. They're reacting to what she says. They're laughing really hard at her jokes. They have a smile on their face like all their Christmases and birthdays have arrived on the same day. And you can clearly tell they are only thinking about getting into her squish mitten. So they're very reactive. They're leaning in. They're laughing at jokes that aren't funny. This is the same shit that girls do. She's going to be leaning in, touching you, asking you personal questions. She's going to have an energy that states, I'm interested in the conversation, but translated, that means she's interested in you. How many of you guys have been talking to a girl and the conversation wasn't very good? You convinced yourself that she wasn't attracted to you, but she still stood there, even when the conversation dropped and it wasn't really that interesting. You felt she wasn't attracted to you because she wasn't leaning in, touching you, perhaps not even super in her feminine energy, but she was still standing there, wasn't she? Guys, I have literally had girls turn their backs to me while like I'm gaming them, and they turn their backs to me, and I ended up sleeping with them that night. I remember this one girl on a cruise ship. She did that exact thing. We're literally sitting on a bench and she had her back to me. And I tapped her on the shoulder and I was like, hello, are we not talking or what? And she's like, sorry, I'm just shy. And that's a big thing, is that girls are going to become shy when they're really attracted to you, yet you will oftentimes misinterpret that for her not being attracted. She had her back to me. I knew she was attracted because she was giving off the sign of just being there and engaging in the conversation, asking me personal questions, asking me about my interests, asking me, and this is an obvious one, if I had a girlfriend. Whenever the girl is attracted, she's going to make reasons to be near you, either physically or even conversating with you, texting you, wondering how your day went. What's up, brother? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. To watch the full podcast episode, click here. And before you go, if you're feeling extra generous, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me in the algorithm. I'd sincerely appreciate it. Unapologetic Army.